All right, hello everyone. How's it going? I realized that I'm starting to hate my American friends because every time it's like 12 here, and I'm talking about 12 a.m. Right? I want to go to bed, and my American friends like, no, V, stay with us, talk with us. Oh, and then it's like 6 a.m. and you realize it's morning because you're getting hungry. You know, like when it's nighttime and you're getting hungry, you realize it's like that 5 to 6 a.m. time period. And then what happens is I sleep during the day and I stay awake during the night, which is kind of bad because you don't get to visit your friends. Your girlfriend is unhappy. It is a thing that's not preferable. But anyway, right? I'm going to be able to live stream today because there's a lot of news. I didn't live stream yesterday because even though I would prefer making shekels with these streams, you know, like $20 if I make it per stream, I'm happy. But if there's no news, I don't want to just, bore you guys with insufferable little content. But today there's a lot of news. Some of them I'll talk about it on my main channel. Other will just be for you guys with exclusivity. Very interesting. By the way, a lot of you asked me to talk about a YouTuber that kills cats. Yeah, a sick motherfucker. He tortures animals and uploads them to his YouTube channel. I was going to talk about it today because I don't want that guy to be taken off YouTube. I want the cops to find who he is and arrest the son of a bitch. But apparently the court ring already made videos about it, and the guy was contacted by the local enforcement, so there's that. Honestly, even if you don't care about animals, this is a big issue. Because a lot of serial killers have these tendencies. Like, before they escalate to humans, they just butcher animals. I understand, like, killing animals if you want to eat them. Like, going hunting, and you get some good venison in your belly. Like, I get that, right? Like, I'm not absurd. I understand we're part of the natural cycle. But I don't get, like, just torturing an animal for the sake of it. Like, you don't want to eat it, you don't want its fur or anything, like, you just want to cause it suffering. Yeah, that's fucked up. And by the way, like, hunters actually have a code and they respect the animals. Like, a lot of hunters won't shoot females of the species. They only go hunting within a particular season, and most hunting is also done in order to keep down the population from a certain invasive species. So it's not, it's anyway. I don't even want to go into my beliefs regarding the druidism of nature. Let's talk about other interesting things that happened, because apparently Tulsi Gabbard, if you guys didn't know, called the mainstream media dirty smear merchants. Well, only one dirty, not two dirties. So I suppose she might be watching a specific YouTube channel. People are already memeing this. Let me show you the memes. Honestly, I think it might not be a dog whistle. I think, like, calling the media dirty spear merchants can also be something that she came up with, but it's a little bit interesting. Would be funny considering that a specific YouTube channel also gave her positive coverage. It's possible that she watched that particular YouTube channel, which, speaking of, might upload a very interesting interview soon. Let me see if I can find the picture so I can share it with you guys. I'm actually hyped for the interview. Don't tell me I deleted the picture, because that would be horrible. That would be very haram. Yeah, I think it's on Facebook. But all right, look, I got the tweet. Got the tweet at hand. I have receipts. I'll never apologize to smear merchants for doing everything I can to prevent more of my brothers and sisters from being killed wounded. If it means meeting with a brutal dictator or 100 dictators, I will do whatever it takes to end a regime war. So this was something that happened. I was like, is this a thing? Yeah, apparently it is a thing. Let me see if I can find the other picture, because the other picture is very, very important. I need to go on Facebook. I hate Zuckerberg book. But what can you do? Yeah. You have to go on enemy territory every now and then in order to get the pictures that you want to find. Oh, here we go. Here is the picture, right? So, is it not interesting? I think it's very interesting. I'm going to be really excited for the interview. I'm curious how YouTube is going to react to this. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about other things. What if I were to tell you about the title of an article? Lesbian criminals in space. Huh? It sounds like The Onion, doesn't it? But no, apparently the first crime committed in space might have occurred, and it is a woman that did it. Astronaut denies claim she allegedly committed what would be the first crime in space. This is just uchukushi, as the Japanese like to call it. So the New York Times reads about it. Like, look how the New York Times is spamming me. Look how hungry they are for cash. Look at it. Look at it. They want my money. Get the fuck out. I'm not giving you my money. I don't have cash for myself, let alone pay you for my subscription. I'll go somewhere else. I'll go somewhere else for the news. I love the fact that NASA is investigating this. Like, like, who has jurisdiction over it? This is like, you kill a man in space. According to which, like, of course it's a crime, right? Like, everyone will point out that it's a crime, but according to which nationality are you going to be persecuted? That's the question. Because a crime in a country can be, I don't know, punishable with 5 years, and in another country it can be punishable with 20 years. So the same crime can have different punishments. Obviously, they're probably going to go with the nationality of the gentleman or gentlewoman responsible, but still, it's a predicament. So apparently NASA is investigating it. Okay, so astronaut Anne McClain, and by the way, this is allegedly, like we don't know if she did it or not, is accused of identity theft and improperly accessing her estranged wife's private financial records while on a 6-month mission aboard the International Space Station. I keep saying this, but people don't believe me. It's like, when women try to accuse you, try to find out if you're cheating or not, they're doing better investigation than the FBI and CIA put together. If Epstein had a wife and he would be cheating on her, the wife would already have found out. Like, she would have cracked the case by now. So this is what ladies do sometimes when they become jealous. They do identity theft. They access your private financial record to see if you're keeping any cash. Like, they are going to do this. I also had identity theft done to me, but it's something that's not prosecuted unless you complain about it. I remember my first girlfriend had access to MySpace account. Well, it was high five in Romania, but still. And she logged in pretending to be me to try to hit on other girls to see how they react. I'm going to say it wasn't a very long relationship, but still, I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised by this. I'm not going to go, there is no from me. So, apparently, the astronaut's spouse filed a complaint earlier this year within the Federal Trade Commission after learning that the astronaut had accessed her bank account without permission. While her family filed another with the NASA Office of Inspector General, according to the newspaper. The lawyer said the astronaut had done nothing wrong and accessed the bank records while aboard the ISS in order to monitor the couple's combined finances, something she had done over the course of the relationship. The investigators have contacted both women, according to the newspaper, and McClain, who returned to Earth in June, gained fame for being one of the 2 women picked for a historic all-female spacewalk. Girl power! NASA scrapped the planned walk in March due to a lack of well-fitting spacesuits. Sparkling accusations of sexism. Yeah, you should have thought about it, NASA. Instead of I don't know, like figuring out which planet has life on it and figuring out how to better improve your spacecraft. You should have goddamn thought about the whammies. By the way, NASA is in heavy decline. And I think, I might be wrong, but I think Donald Trump cut its funding, and with good reason. Like, basically, when it comes to exploring space, the Jews, like Israel, actually had a privately funded mission in order to go to space, right? Like, and meanwhile, what does NASA do? Well, they're designing the toilet and the wheel, I guess, for the rocket that the Chinese are going to use. You know, they're just building parts now. They're not interested in colonizing other places. And it kind of makes sense. You know, like America is the big dog on Earth. Why would they try to reach out? Though every now and then you might be upset that you don't have the technology. Apparently there's a big meteor that's going to fly by Earth, which is rich, very rich in minerals, like gold, for example. And scientists are trying to figure out if they can crash land it safely on Earth in order to harvest said minerals. But, you know, like if you don't have the technology, you don't have the technology. What can you do? I have Hurricane by title. Yeah, there is a Hurricane by title. This is actually something that I'm going to do on my main channel. I'm going to talk about it, but apparently, let me see if I can find it. Give me just 1 second, because again, I had this at handy. I don't know why it's not, but I found it. Here we go. So Trump decided to do the most American thing that you can possibly imagine. There is a problem. How can we blow it up? Like that is like, you know, I'm going to show you on my video when I make it on my main channel another interesting story, which also has video footage. Apparently a whale washed up on the shores of a beach in the United States. And it died. Right? So you got a dead whale. Unfortunately, dead whales start to stink. And it's a health hazard, allegedly, right? And it attracts all sorts of flies and insects and scavengers. You know, the Americans wanted that shit off their beach. You know, like, why couldn't that whale die somewhere else? So they hired a team in order to, you know, remove the carcass. But apparently cutting off the carcass and then loading it up into cranes and moving it away, kind of difficult. So the Americans, in their infinite wisdom, decided to blow it up. They loaded the whale with TNT and blew it sky high. Unfortunately, the saying of what goes up must come down was true in that nature. So on that peaceful town, on that fateful day, big pieces of whale carcass started raining down on the like peaceful and tranquil village. It managed to break cars. It managed to break windows. It managed to break roofs. Luckily, no one was injured. However, the stench was quite intense, and the cleaning efforts were astronomical. But with that said, it is the American way. You know, you got a problem. Well, on the beach, what do we do? Let's blow it up. And this is like what Donald Trump wants to do now. You know, this is okay. It's hurricane season. Hurricanes are bad. You know, when nature is sending its hurricanes, it's actually sending its best. And they're doing property damage. You know, they're injuring people. How can we stop hurricanes? Why don't we nuke them? And the scientists were actually taken aback by this. Apparently, like the scientists, because this, you know, like he asked the question. It's not that he wants to nuke the hurricanes, but he asked the question, like, why the fuck not? You know, like, what? We got the nukes. Why can't we nuke them? And apparently the scientists said, we're going to look into it. But after that, they gave, like, the report. It's like, what the fuck are we going to do with this? Turns out, as usual, when such a controversy appears, Donald Trump wasn't the first to suggest this interesting proposition. It was, I believe, President Eisenhower. He also thought, why don't we just nuke the hurricanes? Right? So apparently, it's not going to work. The winds are going to scatter radiation all over. And I think it's a good thing that it's not going to work, because I think he would have been bad enough to do it. And the problem is, like, the damage to the environment would probably be irreversible. Like, if every year you're dropping 3 or 4 nukes into hurricanes, like... Not to mention, like, other countries might start doing it. But apparently not only that, there is a deal with the Russians that forbid them from doing this. Though, like, that deal could be renegotiated. Like, Trump could go, yo, Putin, look, we got a problem. Got a problem in America. We want to drop the mushroom on the breeze of wind that's coming towards us. Oh my god. Like, at one point, it might actually be, like, cost effective. Like, I get how Trump will do it. Like, he would put it on a piece of paper. It's like, how much money to build a nuke? How much damage does a hurricane cost? Is it worth it? Yeah, I mean, not to mention, you also have to take into account the fact that the Americans have a lot of nukes that are basically going past their shelf life, so you wouldn't want to deploy them in an actual combat environment. So, a lot of people don't get, when Trump bombed Syria, or they're doing these things, they're not using, like, the best missiles they got. And what's funny about missiles is that it's actually cheaper to just blow them up than to have a special private company do it for you. Like, the private company is going to try to defuse the bomb, bury it somewhere. It's actually more costly to do that. So what happens with a lot of this munition is either used for, like, demonstrations or simulated warfare. But basically, like, they want to get rid of them. So when you hear that use, it's like, oh, Trump lost 30 millions by throwing some ballistic rockets into an airport in Syria. It's like, yeah, but those usually are the ones that would have expired anyway. So it's basically like actually him making a profit rather than throwing it away. U.S. Air Force dropped a Moab just because it was before its expiration date. Yeah, I mean, that usually happens. So Zlickson gave me $2. American money. Explosive money. Thank you, Zlickson. And you're not 15 minutes behind. You're actually good. All right. So we got the lesbians into space. We got Trump wanting to blow up hurricanes. What can make a better day than this? Well, apparently, Trump targets ridiculous right to citizenship for anyone born in the United States. Now, I keep trying to explain this to Americans, and either they don't get it or they don't want to get it and just want to be contradictory to me. It's like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, okay, when you interpret a law, there's 2 ways you can do it, all right? This is what law school teaches. It's not what I'm saying, okay? You can either interpret a legislation based on the letter of the law, which is like literally what the law says, right? And then you can interpret it on the spirit of the law. And the spirit of the law is like, what was the lawmaker's spirit behind making that legislation? So let me give you an example, right? Gay marriage in the United States. If you interpret gay marriage within the spirit of the law, the founding fathers obviously didn't mean to include gay people within the right to marry in the United States. The letter of the law, how they wrote the legislation, does allow for gay marriage, right? So when you have a law and you go to the Supreme Court and you're asking the Supreme Court judges, supreme judges, in your infinite wisdom, is this constitutional or not, right? Like, they are going to interpret the law. When you look at the spirit of the law, for example, the birthright to anyone that is born in the United States. The purpose of the law was to allow for Black Americans to have their kids given U.S. citizenship. The spirit of the law wasn't for Mexicans or anyone else, like Romanians, like myself, to come to America with a pregnant woman, have a child there, and the kid getting American citizenship. And by the way, you want to know something funny? Do you want to know something? I had Christy Winters come up to me and say, it's like, V, do you know they're taking babies from mothers within the concentration camps, right? So Mexican mothers within concentration camps, they're having their babies taken away, and I was like, well, of course, the baby is a U.S. citizen. U.S. citizens don't belong in concentration camps. But no, that's actually why they take them away. But there are actually, there are pregnant women that are trying to take advantage of this situation only to find out that, yeah, babies do not belong in concentration camps. American citizens do not belong in concentration camps. It's illegal. Like, you can't. Why would an American be in a detention center for immigrants? He's an American citizen. USA. So Trump wants to end this horrible separation from baby to mother. Now the babies are going to stay in the concentration camps with their mother if his legislation manages to pass. But with this, I wanted to show that this is what happens when you have the way you interpret the law, which is why the Supreme judges nominated to the court are very important, because they can still push an ideology either to the left or the right by the way they're interpreting the legislation. This bullshit that, oh no, judges are supposed to be impartial. Yeah, they're supposed to be impartial, but let's talk about reality. Let's not talk about what it's supposed to be. All right, let's talk about how things are. Every single person has political convictions, okay? Just because you get a title and you swear an oath doesn't get those convictions away. Which is why, the left wants its judges being pushed into the Supreme Court, and the right wants their judges pushed into the Supreme Court. Right, so now that I explained how things are, let me go through some super chats. Therefore 20 is talking a little bit about an American wisdom: we use it or lose it. Please make more videos with your cats. Ask Daniel Corica, great channel Daywalker. I actually have a video with me walking the cat on a leash. Let me see if I can actually find that. Going to show you this. Honestly, walking your cat on a leash is the most difficult thing ever, because at every point when you meet a lady, when you meet a girl coming towards you, you know what is going to happen. It's going to be like, oh my god, is that a cat? Oh, can I pet it? Oh, can I? Oh, fucking hell. Yeah. So I went to a restaurant with my cat as well. Look at this. Just look at it, huh? Got a hamburger. Got an American meal. Cat doesn't give a fuck. My favorite thing was that I was actually walking on the sidewalk, and this motorcyclist actually slows down to just, glare at my cat, and I was telling him, man, look at the road, what the fuck are you... Right. That wallet will be gone quickly. No, see, because that restaurant had a fence, so I could actually see who enters and who doesn't. Yeah, but there was this flock of women coming towards me. I think they were from the University of Letters or some shit. And the cat just decided to go sniff, and I was telling it, look, cat, if you don't move right now, you're going to be smothered. You do understand this. By the way, let me show you my mother's cat. All right, this is what happens when you take a Bengal and you mix it with a Scottish Fold. All right, this is what comes out. This is this is the reality of the situation. Oh my god. All right. So anyway. Let's talk about Jim, Mr. Metokur. Now, Mr. Metokur, I understand, had 2 videos copyright strike by the developers of Yooka-Laylee, which I guess that you can call them to be very progressive individuals, right? They didn't like Jontron's opinion, so they took Jontron off their voice cast, and they started banning people on their Steam. So because of this, like, by the way, copyright striking, you can do it to anyone, right? But it's illegal. Like, you can basically ask YouTube to take down any video you want on their platform, but the person you are taking down the video can actually sue you if the copyright isn't legit. And if they sue you, you're going to have to pay a lot of money. And you're also guilty of perjury if you're a U.S. citizen. The problem with this is that I guess Mr. Metokur wants to have his anonymity, so he's not going to counterclaim the copyright strike, but he's going to move to Bitchute, which honestly is a far safer platform. I think he can have even more edgy content over there. Bitchute is going to allow people to live stream soon, and this is very good for Bitchute because it's going to get an influx of traffic. And hopefully it's going to get Bitchute to grow great again. I got the Romanian giving me $2. How did the Romanian manage to give me $2? Huh? Like, these are American money. Let's make Romania great again. And he is saying that Bessarabia is Romanian land. And yeah, while Bessarabia is Romanian land, I generally don't think it would be a good idea to unify it, because you have to understand, Bessarabia had a massive demographic of Russians being pushed into it. To the point where Russia is like a second language over there. And a lot of these Russians are actually communists. Like, Bessarabia has the Communist Party in power for quite a long time. I don't know if they managed to win the previous elections or not. But if you give Bessarabians power and you get them in Romania, they're going to have a right to vote. And I'm guaranteeing to you that they are going to vote far left. You might even have like the Communist Party of Bessarabia or something. It's not going to be called that because it would be illegal to have like communist parties in Romania, but still, the ideology is going to be the same. So no, I'm not really excited about the prospect, at least not yet. I think giving Bessarabia rights to pass the border and to have jobs here and for us to open business there would be like the first step before trying to unify the two people. Definitely not now. Not with the political climate that is in Bessarabia, with them just voting for communism and stuff. People are saying it's gone, bro. You might as well calling for the Byzantine Empire to be recreated. Yeah, I mean, Romania will get its own squad. Oppressed German minority in Poland. No, like a lot of people in my country, especially old people, the ones that used to quote unquote get by during communism by, having relations, by managing to steal certain items from their workplace, like they would work on a farm and they would manage to steal milk, so people have milk. They really like communism, and I keep telling these people, it's like, yeah, like, they consider capitalism to have ruined Romania. And I tell them, yeah, well, Bessarabia went with communism and it's a nation far poorer than Romania. So what the fuck are you talking about? If you like communism, go to Bessarabia. Oh, that's not real communism over there. Motherfucker, you didn't have real communism here. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about macho-ness. Let's talk about chadness. Apparently, Macho Macron tried to boss Boris Johnson, but the bumbling bulldog fight back. Now, I can't read this because apparently I need to give them cash. But I would be really interested in seeing this article. Apparently, when Macron welcomed a fellow leader, no matter who his guest is, the French president is determined to show the camera that he, Macron, is the top dog. His body language is fascinating. It's so aggressive even when he's being friendly. He shakes hands very aggressively. He smiles aggressively. He laughs aggressively. With restless, angry energy, he bobs up and down on the balls of his feet like a boxer. At every opportunity, he thumps his guest on the back as if the guest is choking on a fishbowl. So, I'm generally curious to see what Boris did, but seeing the picture with him with the foot on the table. Oof. Honestly, if you want to troll Macron, you should wear a yellow vest. But obviously, like, not have a yellow vest. Have like a suit that has like a yellow vest sticker dot. Like a a drawing of a yellow vest or a t-shirt that is drawn to appear like a yellow vest, you know? Yeah, people are saying except when he's in the company of black thugs. Let me show you that image again. Macron with rapper. Let me see if I can. There we go. There we go. This is supposed to go in a museum. Honestly, this is supposed to be printed out, you know, and placed in a museum. Yeah, he doesn't appear to be the top dog here. I just say he doesn't appear to be in complete control of the situation. I remember when there was this kid, you know, like a child, who called him Mr. Macron. And he was like, no, it's President Macron. You don't call me Mr. Macron. You need to show respect. Respect. And it's like, what is the respect here, Macron? You know, I genuinely do not see any type of respect in this picture being displayed. Why don't you lecture this young lad, this troubled teenager about the signs which are acceptable to show when you're in the company of the elected state official of the French people. Those are his G's, Real Chads don't pretend to be Chad. Yeah, that is a good point. He called him Manu. Okay. Oh my god. By the way, there's another news that I'm going to have on my main channel. But before I show you this, alright, this is a nuclear thing. So I encourage people to make sure they're sitting down. Because I know some people listen to me while exercising. You know, some people like to jack me up in their cell phone in order to listen while they're exercising or going to work or something. This news is going to floor people. Okay, so I want you to make sure that you are sitting down because I don't want you to get hurt, right? I don't want you to trip, to fall over, to break something and then not give me super chats. Alright, because this is just... It's not from The Onion, okay? It's from the BBC. You know, it's let's raise a little bit, let's hype it up. Just from 1 to 10, how funny do you think this thing is? Just put it in the chat. Let's see who I'm going to subvert their expectations. That's it. No, it's not fake news. It's actually real. Like that's why it's funny. It's not about the nukes. It's about black people. It's about black people. Laconic has low expectations. Well, a lot of people are having low expectations. See? Alright. Okay, let's see. YouTube chicken connoisseur sees racist link in knife crime warnings. Oh my god, do you know how difficult it is going to be for me to make a video with a straight face about this? And look at the picture they chose! Look at the picture! That is a big yikes from me. That is the chicken connoisseur. Oh fuck. Oh god, that's just oh. Well, at least they didn't go with what the water. You know, can you imagine? Can you imagine if there is a controversy about the UK government putting labels on watermelons and you'd have like watermelon aficionado? Wait. Oh my god, this is I don't know. I just like how many layers of stereotype do you have here? You know, it's like Oh, so you're saying that if you put, you know, maybe don't stab each other on the, you know, if you put knife crime warnings on chicken meals, then that's racist because black people like chicken. But if you say, black people, you know, like black people like chicken is a stereotype and shouldn't be propagated, then you have this guy called the chicken connoisseur. Hold on. No, I need to understand this. No, this is just holy shit. Like I don't know what to think anymore. All right, so let's look at the stereotypes. So stereotypes are bad, right? So we should fight against them. I'm just naming the stereotype. Okay, so stereotype 1: African Americans from the UK. Okay, like chicken. Okay, harmful stereotype 1. Okay, stereotype 2: African Americans from the UK are offended because knife crime awareness is being placed on chicken meals. So this is harmful stereotype 2. How? Like, my brain is trying to go through the logic of this, and I keep hitting roadblocks. How do I unpack this? Like, which stereotype trumps the other, right? Because I can't think that placing knife crime awareness on chicken is offending black people, because black people don't like chicken. You know, that's racist to say. But on the other hand, right? If you put it on chicken, it's harmful towards black because you're implying that. So which one is it? Fuck me. And on top of that, I got this picture. You know, like, couldn't you find a more charitable picture of this gentleman? Like, is it? Oh God. Oh shit. Oh, it's racist what I'm doing, isn't it? Is it? Just. I don't know. Right. So let's wash it up with some interesting propaganda. You know, someone decided to do a little bit of subversion here. In this house, we stand for the flag. We kneel at the cross and we support our troops. I don't know what this cross is or is supposed to. I don't think I want to find out, but there is great amounts of concern. Oh my God. Many chickens died to bring us this information. Yeah. Because the UK isn't the Alabama. It's a BDSM cross. So it's a thing that Shuan Head uses. Again, I don't think I want to know. Can we talk about how cringy Metokur's morning show is or was? Well, unfortunately, I was never up for them. So I haven't seen any of Metokur's morning shows. Say black British. No, it's African American. You can't say black. That's racist. I need to use the correct word. My God, just fuck me. What else should we go through? Because we got an interesting series of news today that I think I talked about this, so this is going to be pass. Oh look, this one is interesting. Like I still can't believe this is a thing, right? Like Sean King, the African American, is not here for us. So you look at Sean King, right? I mean, look, I don't have Devon Tracy's eyes. Like, if you know that skinhead Devon Tracy, he's got 23andMe installed in his retina. Like, he looks at he sees only color. You can't accuse him of not being colorblind racist, but of being colorblind racist. Sorry. But I look at this gentleman and like, look, if I was a police officer, I would be like, we're looking for a African American suspect. Like, no one is going to stop him. Let me put it this way: he is above the frisk and search, right? He's got white privilege. But apparently he claims he's black. Now, his parents came out, said that no, he's not black. But for some reason, the myth continues. Because in the world of social justice, if someone lies, you need to lie as well. So, for quite a while, he is being raised at, like, again, I don't understand, like, why a white person can't do activism on behalf of black people. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But I guess if you are into the identitarian religion, if you're white, you can't do activism because your skin color is important on the ideas that you have to say. So he claims to be black in order to get, like, brownie points. Little brownie points. But now apparently he had a spat on the Twitter with a woman of color, and now you have articles saying that he's not good for the black community. I'm not even going to read this. I can't believe it's a thing. I genuinely cannot believe this is happening. Like, a white guy posing as a black guy is, now going, oh, he's not good for the black community. By the way, I got good news from the United Kingdom. Well, good news as in the justice system prevailed in a way. So, there was a man which decided to burn an effigy of the Grenfell Tower in its own home. So this was like massive shit posting. And of course he was arrested because it was grossly offensive material. Like, again, it was in his own house that he did this, right? And the police arrested him. So apparently they figured out that while it is in a colossal bad taste, which is exactly what I said when I made the video, yeah, it's not illegal. So, it's fascinating. It's like, all right, people do have a right to be an asshole, right? Like, this is still a thing. Like, we still live in a society where you do have a right to be an asshole. Like, there are things that indeed should be despicable, but not criminalized, right? Such as voting for a Democrat. That is something that I don't think should be illegal, but it should be despicable. And apparently this was a joke. He was found not guilty after it was revealed that a second video had also been shared on WhatsApp. Magistrates said they could not be sure the film was taken by Mr. Brusetti, and the evidence was appalling. And the thing had, like, the Grenfell Tower written on it. Blah, blah, blah. So, he told magistrates that the effigy had been created by his friends, and the characters featured on the model were meant to represent the majority of people that were at the party, not the people who died in a disaster. Imagine having to argue the case. Like, you're arrested, you're considered a menace to the public because you burnt a piece of cardboard in your backyard. Like, this is like being in a theocratic country and you're accused of blasphemy, like you defile the, I guess the religious iconography or something. One black-clad figure was referred to as Ninja, was meant to represent his friend's son who did martial arts. Like, at this point, he's just, like, pulling shit out of his ass. And apparently it was just bantered and denied being racist. Now, I don't know if he was in absolutely no way to know which piece of the footage had made its way onto YouTube and got viral. So apparently he was not convicted because they couldn't prove that he was the one that made the video go viral, which is still kind of chilling. But I mean, look, when you have Muslims burning the Israeli flag, should they also be prosecuted? Like, isn't that grossly offensive? What about someone burning the English flag? Isn't it grossly offensive for English people? Like, I generally, like, this is why you shouldn't criminalize offense. Because everything you do, someone can be grossly offended by it. You know, homosexuality, like someone fucks someone else up the ass, that is grossly offensive for some people. Should we criminalize it? Like, again, it's just pick and choose. You're going to pick, you know, the correct, righteous people in society, depending on who's in power. And those are going to be the ones that are protected for these laws. What's up, my ninjas? Can we burn Romania? Why would you want to burn Romania? Huh? I don't follow. Like, just wait a little bit, because the heat is rising up. And we're going to get a couple more forest fires here. Oh my god. That one with the chicken still managed to affect me. Now, a lot of people are saying that conservatives are progressives running under the speed limit, and this is what the Mail Online publishes, alright? Is it time to drop the cannibalism taboo? Psychologists say eating members of the same species is natural, and we could adapt to human flesh if need be. This is why I generally don't give a fuck what psychologists like to say. I think psychology is horseshit science. I'm on the controversial opinion on this. I know. But it's like, look, what is science? Is having the scientific method done onto something, right? So you have a hypothesis, you have an experiment, and then you have the peer review. Well, with science, you can take a group of people, giving them an experiment, and you're not going to get the same result if you reproduce the experiment, which is why I don't consider it to be actual science. This is my personal opinion. When I see shit, like psychologists say eating members of the same species is natural, and we can adapt to human flesh if need be, I'm like, no, you know what, you get the Kuru disease if you want to. Kuru actually means ass in Romania, so you get the ass disease if you want to. You know, you go through the ethical implication of who gets to eat whom. You know, like, just though, you know, like, ugh. You know, like, I don't want to CNN that shit. I don't want to. What was it, Andrew Cuomo, the one that ate the human brain? Huh? Maybe question the psychologist in question, not psychology as a field. Well, no, I question psychology as a field for different reasons. And I also question the psychologist in question. Rabies aren't that bad. Kuru disease isn't rabies, man. Do I mean Alfredo? Some African tribes eat their dead. I'm going to end the stream here. I want to go eat after this, so you know. And thank you guys for watching this. Again, thank you for the donations. I want to specifically thank Therefore20, Daniel Corica, and all the others who contributed. Thanks a lot. And well, it's not short. I always do it for 1 hour. All right, it's been 50 minutes. I ended up without things to talk. I need to go take my cat for a walk. Hopefully manage to eat something at the restaurant, because I'm starving. And then I have to come home and make videos for my main channel. So there's that. Plus, this whole thing with cannibalism was a little bit too much for me. That's just gross. Not to mention, like, I think the South Koreans, they have. Is it the South Koreans? Like, in some Asian country, they serve fetus soup, and I'm thinking, like, whose fetus are you eating? You know, apparently it's a delicacy, and they pay a lot of money for it. Let me show you something else. All right, let's end it on a high note. Fine. I got like 10 more minutes. Let me show you something really cool. Apparently, this is in Japan. And it's called the Fox Village. All right, so if you travel to Japan, you can go to this place where there's foxes. Now the foxes make a really interesting sound.
Look it up. That's exactly what she's asking us to do.
So yeah, you can go there. Apparently you can't feed them anywhere you want. Like, there is a special place where you can feed them. You are not allowed to touch the adult foxes. You can go to like this fox hospital where they take the cubs and stuff, and you can pick one of these little foxes up and you can cuddle it. And yeah, like you go to this place, which is not really a village. It's more of a natural reserve for just foxes. And yeah, people go there, and they got like this little nifty house. Let me see if I can find this. Okay, so they get like this nifty house surrounded by fence, and you can feed them from that place, right? And I think this is to keep people safe, because you don't want like a fox just biting you, or getting a little bit too aggressive when you give it the munchies. But other than that, it's really cool. A lot of people are asking me why aren't foxes kept as pets? The answer is they are. There are two species of foxes that are kept as pets. One of them is through a Russian experiment. The Russians wanted to see if they can domesticate foxes, and they basically separated foxes in Lot A and B. Lot A was foxes that are more friendly towards humans, like they're not really scared, and Lot B was foxes that were aggressive or terrified of humans. So they only used Lot A to mate with each other, and then the next generation they did the same. And over the course of 20 generations for foxes, they had domesticated foxes, which are actually for sale in a lot of countries where it's illegal to keep a fox. The other thing, which is also legal to keep, is a fennec fox, which is something like this. And it doesn't grow bigger, so it's incredibly petite, I guess you could say. And it's also incredibly energetic, and you get this shit walking around in your house. Yeah. The problem with foxes, though, like why it's not a good idea to keep them indoors. The piss. When a fox, you can't afford to have an accident with a fox. When a fox takes a piss on something, if you add water to it, it's going to turn into a massive stench. So if it pees on something, you might as well just throw it away. And any enthusiast wanting to have a fox, the best way to have it is to get one of these two breeds, either the Finnic fox or the Russian domesticated fox, and have it outside. So you have like a courtroom, like having a dog in the yard. That's the correct way of having a fox. If you have an apartment, don't even think about it, because you're going to end up buying it. It's going to end up stinking your place, and you want to give it away. And when you give it away, it's not like a dog where a lot of people can adopt it. It's a lot more difficult to get people that want to adopt a fox. So there you go. Some animal knowledge for me. Some animal knowledge. Fox piss is useful for scaring off deer in the garden. Masking your scent while hunting, I guess. Just get a dog. I mean, look, I'll tell you something else. A lot of people are bored, I guess, with dogs and cats. I don't know why, but people are becoming a little bit interesting right now. Like, you get to see people walking their rabbits on a leash. I mean, I guess, but look at it. Let me show you this. All right, so you, I mean. You go out in the park with something like this, and I guess it's interesting for people, but make sure you're not, going in a place where there's dogs, because obviously rabbits might not enjoy the company of dogs. So, yeah, I mean, I see people walking guinea pigs on YouTube. I seen people walking iguanas, and including, like rabbits, which, yeah, it's adorable. I mean, yeah. Oh yeah, I got hungry from seeing that, because rabbit is actually good eating in my country. I understand there was a legislation passed in the United States where you're not allowed to eat your baby rabbit. So maybe I'll order a rabbit meal. Just kidding. I don't have money for that. I'm going to go and get a hamburger like normal people. I can be Yulia Albu, huh? Rabbit is delicious. Yeah, it's like I suppose it's like a lot of people go like, why don't we eat rats? And I'm like, I guess it tastes like a rabbit, you know, because a rabbit is just a bigger rat if you think about it, huh? Man, I was told a harrowing story by a friend of mine who was traveling, and let me show you something. Okay. So as he was driving with the car, he managed to find an infestation of, I guess, prairie dogs. You call them in the United States, right? Like this thing. And it was an infestation to the point that the entire road was covered by wave after wave after wave of these critters. And if you're in the car, like, what do you do? Like, it's a never-ending wave, you know? And he had to get there on time, so he had to drive over them. And I'm like, Jesus fuck, man, why do you share these things? Why do you tell me these things? Can't you just keep it there? It's like, oh, well, you know, what can you do? It's like, well, yeah, I know, but come on, fucking hell. Like, and my question is like, you know, what would you do if you're in a car, all right? And you see these waves after waves after waves of hungry prairie dogs just crossing the street, never ending. You know, some of them don't even cross, they just stay in the street. And yeah, I mean, he filled me with this horrible story, and I wanted to share it with you guys. People would honk, drive properly. Speed up. Yeah, I guess like speeding up would actually be good, because if you drive slowly, you end up stepping over more of them. If you speed up, it's going to be less. Do more stream with Louis. Very interesting. Man, I haven't talked with Louis since last time I streamed with him. Been a while. Maybe I should. Alright. So I got 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes. What should I talk about? Yeah, video games. I'm playing Days Gone By, and I don't know why the reviewers gave it such low grades, because to me it's an excellent game. Like, it's an amazing game. I'm not saying it's the best game out there, but I'm having a lot of fun. Like, I'm getting my money worth, and I'm not a person that can afford to buy video games every month. All right, like if I buy one video games, I'm really happy. And usually I get a lot of games gifted to me by fans on Steam, but yeah, I mean, Days Gone is really great. I mean, I don't get the negative reviews. Why is that a thing? Why do we? Did they not pay enough money to IGN? Did they not pay their share to Kotaku? Why are they getting such trashed within the Metacritic? Did I play Detroit? Yeah, I tried playing Detroit. I don't have the game. I played it at a friend of mine, but like, I guess the game wants me to feel that the androids are like black people, because I noticed like the only good characters are people of color, and the only bad characters are white. You know, like the only white android, I guess, is the police officer, which, you know, kind of reinforces the stereotype, you know, of the black police officer that forgets his race, I suppose. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, I can't unsee the social justice when I play this game. It's like it's an android. You know, it's not alive. You can't convince me that something is alive. And the question is, alright, what if they have such a sophisticated artificial intelligence that they consider themselves human? Well, if that's the case, you need to terminate the assembly line immediately. Why would you create something like that? Right? Because, like, why would humans create something better than humans that can literally replace you and allow them to compete with resources with you? I mean, they will require resources. Like, humans will basically become slaves, you know, mining things. And the only way you could actually create androids, and you might want to, I suppose, but not even then, it's like to colonize another planet. But even then, would you still want to do it? You know? Like, that is some sci-fi shit that I wouldn't want to cross. And I wouldn't want to cross it because I'm afraid of the androids. No, I'm afraid of the leftists that are going to consider that toasters need to have human rights. That's what I'm afraid of. On this topic, is it ever acceptable to ban tech? I don't think you should ban tech for researching, but I think you should like for ethical reasons not pursue certain researches. You know, like for example, we don't have the gruesome medical experiments of the past where a scientist would basically sew another head to a dog and create a Cerberus just for fun. And yeah, that's actually happened. Like, and it survived. You know, they took a dog, they beheaded it, and they attached that dog's head to the other dog, and you now have a two-headed dog. Like, Google it. It's actually an experiment that's done. You know, like that is some sick shit that, yeah, I don't think we should pursue it. As for other technology, like, we already do that. We're not allowing nuclear reactive cars, okay? Now, nuclear reactive cars would be very efficient. They would be far better than gas. You would be able to drive them for quite a while. The problem appears when you would have a car crash. You would release nuclear waste into the atmosphere. And another problem would be like you could have certain terrorist groups that would purchase 1,000 cars or something and then use the nuclear I guess the nuclear engine in order to create a small nuclear device. So, you know, yeah, I mean, we already banned technology if you think about it, but I guess like with androids, like I'm fine as long as they're not sentient. Like you don't want them to think like a human. For two reasons. Number one is the ethical reason, because you would basically create a creature that's suffering, right? Even if it's like I do consider humans to be in a way like machines. It's an organic machine, and it functions the same. Like if you inject certain hormones, like what do hormones do? It's like, well, they give signals to the brain, you know, like the brain gets electric signals and stuff. So yeah, I mean, you could basically like create something that is so akin to humanity that it would be conscious, and it would be wrong for ethical reasons, both in the fact that you're creating the newly android to suffer, and in the fact that you're potentially endangering the human species by having this creation. So yeah. Sentient is the cow you want the burgers from, V. I mean, I wouldn't want the cow to be aware that it's going to be killed and to be aware that there's a better life outside of the slaughterhouse, you know? Like, yeah, sure, the cow is sentient to a degree, but it's not like a human that is able to understand its situation. And even then, like, you know, if a human gets killed by a lion, do I really blame the lion? I mean, the lion is just doing its natural thing. It's trying to, you know, hunt prey, and it needs prey in order to keep alive. So, yeah, I also wouldn't want a drug that would make chickens smart as humans, you know? Like, these are things that constitute ethical things that shouldn't exist. I don't think a cow is aware that it's going to be butchered in a slaughterhouse. I don't think a cow that is raised, you know, in a meat market is going to be aware that there are planes and a better life out there. But if you want me to go vegan, let me actually show you something that I think might make me go vegan, and it's actually something that's good for ending world hunger. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. Yeah. Okay, so we got cultivated meat. Cultivated meat is actually improving every single day. And the way you do it, you take cells from a cow once, because then you don't need to do it again, and you just grow the meat in a lab. And yeah, there's no more suffering, there's no more animal cruelty. And the thing with this is that if it actually takes off, you can take this process to very impoverished nations, you know, places like Africa, places where it's difficult to grow animals because the tsetse fly and shit like that. And yeah, I mean, you can basically have like these, you're going to harvest meat like you're harvesting plants. And it's going to be done in a lab. It's going to, you know, create this type of product. And I'm telling you what, if the meat is just as tasty as just normal meat, then yeah, why not? Not to mention, apparently they can also grow it into space, so there's also that. I'm all for this type of research being expanded and made into a proper, consumable product. I understand how it works, so I don't think it's unhealthy. The way it works is like the cell from the cow you take just multiplies, so it's literally the same cell. It's actually probably more safe because when you slaughter a cow, the cow can have some disease, like the mad cow disease and shit like that. So when you have it like this, there is no more disease. It's just like the product. So and it's going to have a consistency and taste as well. So, we'll see. Like, right now, it's not up for human consumption. They're still making experiments and stuff. But, I mean, I don't care. If it's going to taste good, I'm going to buy it. And it's probably going to be cheaper as well. It's probably going to be, like, you're going to be able to take, A-grade meat that costs $2,000. And with this process, you're going to probably reduce it to, like, $20. So I generally don't see what is the problem with it. Yeah, I mean the taste is also going to be significantly improved. You're taking the cow's job, yeah. I don't know. Some conservative will want me to grow human meat, huh? It's interesting, and I think it will end world hunger. Because it's not that expensive to make. And it's just going to be like, growing plants, you're going to grow meat. And there's that. And, But what do you guys think? Huh? What do you guys think? Like, if this is actually accomplishable, and you know for sure that it's healthy, and you know for sure that it's fit for human consumption, would you buy it? People in the chat are like, you're taking my job, huh? Would I like to buy a steak tree? Some people are resisting change. Look, see, you got people that are wanting to ban technology. I will never eat such abomination. Well, the thing is, you will eat this abomination, and I'll tell you why. Like, if this catches on, and this is cheaper and tastier than actual meat, a lot of people will buy it, and supply and demand will get that real meat, quote unquote, is going to be incredibly expensive. So if you're going to want to live on an actual, meat diet, you're going to have to cough up a lot of cash. So then you're going to have the process where people are going to say conspiracy theories that this is the government trying to, force us to eat blah blah blah. I hate cows. Yeah, I definitely hate cows. I think this is going to cause the cow genocide. Like, a lot of people don't realize that if cows aren't going to be used to actually eat them, then there will be no incentive to keep them. So all the cows are going to probably be shifted to India. Tough luck for the pork, though. Like, the pork is not going to be shifted anywhere. It's just going to be slaughtered. But yeah, that's capitalism. Anyway. Hindus will be coming from me, huh? This is another question, like, will this allow Hindus to eat cow? Because technically, it's not a cow, so... Anyway, right, I'm going to stop now. See, I did it for you. A lot of people were upset that I was ending it too early, and now I even went 10 minutes overboard. So, I'm going to go and eat some food now. And thank you guys for watching. Again, I'll thank Daniel Corica and... Therefore 20, as well as all the others who donated. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.